When these ridiculous views and people come out saying, okay, this is the end is near and things like that, that's when it's an opportunity to buy. And that's exactly, I think, is what is happening with the AI trades as well. LLY, in my opinion, is a $1,600 to an $1,800 stock. Any drop up to 1,000, I would just load the boat on it. This was also the trade idea for last week as well. Look at the clean compression that it had and then broke out. There is a long game that he's playing, and I just don't know what it is. The end game, I definitely feel, is a SpaceX Tesla merger, because you see all these modules coming into Tesla. They have the capability, I believe, to be the next $5 trillion company as well, especially with robotics, especially with what they can do with their logistics and also their cloud. If you see the 20 MA like not holding on MU, there's a very high chance we'll see like 500 to 470 again on MU. So you have to keep an eye out for this 780 to 800 zone.
Cause we pop 'em like overridden vodka. C3, okay, a millionaire. I'm a young money millionaire.
We got big week, obviously, FOMC here tomorrow. We were just talking about that on the earlier show. Massive earnings with all the big Mag 7s coming up on tomorrow. And you want to talk about GE and Lilly, and where were the other ones that you had? You had a few that we want to talk about. It was fun, though. I was joking about, buying GM, GE, all of the old school companies. But what are your thoughts overall before we jump into the individual names? Where are we sitting? Is this the end of the AI trade, or is this a blip on the screen when we zoom out?
I mean, this is something that when there's fear in the market, all the irrational, views come out. Either way, like we saw that with MU, we saw that with all the other big names. We saw that with NVIDIA when it was running. We'll always have these dips. We'll always find these opportunities to get back into the market. Most people have missed out on. And in my opinion, with respect to how the longevity I have been in the market, when these ridiculous views and people come out saying, okay, this is the end is near and things like that, that's when it's an opportunity to buy. And that's exactly, I think, is what is happening with the AI trades as well. There is definitely quite a bit of unwinding. If you look at SMH, is down 23% to 25% from all-time highs. Although if you think about it on the grand scheme of things, we did have quite a bit of rally in them as well. So a drop off like that kind of is okay. It is profit booking. It is retail traders being pushed out of the market and things like that. So I think there's opportunity now again. According to me, when the market moves this way per se, one final flush before it, they show like a classic breakdown kind of situation, like some head and shoulders breaking down, or some bearish scenario kind of winding up, or bearish scenario showing up and things like that. And then they just rip up the market back up again and getting everybody off guard, whoever is short. So market essentially definitely wants short sellers, right? Like they want, that's part of the game that the market plays. One has to lose money to make for the other to make money. That's what the market is. That is what is a rotation scheme the market works on. So according to me, this is basically an opportunity, and I think it's going to be looking back at it from 6 to 8 months, picking quality stocks again, I think you'll be happy with your portfolio.
I got a really important question. What is the song on your ringtone that you just muted?
That's not the song on my ringtone. I was just making a IWM trade idea for this week because I didn't post one on Sunday. I'm being very cautious with the market. I'm like really not playing much at all. There's really no opportunity in the market.
That's a trade, though. That people need to realize. That's the one thing I actually love about you is if you don't see something, that's why they call you the sniper. You don't need to shoot just to shoot.
It doesn't really matter. It's better just sit out and wait for the right opportunity, clear your head out, look at all the perspective the market is giving you. Like most people have that tunnel vision when they are in the market, and that's what kind of burns you quite a bit. Once you like start understanding, okay, you know what, I have a couple of failed trades, that's fine, like the market is always right. And I'm looking at something wrong, and you have a couple of failed trades, that's when you're like, okay, let me go back, let me reassess, let's see what the market is doing. And then when you look at the broader market in general, it's not just your trades that are failing, it's the market that is trying to break out, giving you a fake breakout, breaking down again, giving you a fake breakdown, popping back up again. Like it's absolutely ridiculous, right? Like it's not just your trade, it's not just you, it's the whole technical market that is doing that. So once you see such things, and once you step back and see the grand picture, that's when you're like, it's fine. Like a market beat me for a couple of trades, I'm fine. Let me reassess, see what the market gives. Once that is back in my favor, that's when I shoot back again.
Well, and you zig when they zag. I always feel like when you're in that capitulation and everyone's ripping their shirts off, going to the bar, freaking out, that's like when you re-enter the market. We do have FOMC here tomorrow. Expectations are either to raise, or I've heard a lot of people talking about raising, and then I've heard the majority saying that they'll stay, where they're at. What do you?
I think the poly market or something. I just follow poly market. I don't follow Kalshi, but poly market I think has a 53% or 63% raise market, like raise in interest rates this Wednesday. It can also be the big guys hedging their positions using, like I've heard an interesting theory that these hedge funds are like, the big money guys are also hedging their positions based off poly market and things like that as well, because there's money to be made there as well. So maybe it's a hedged position, I don't know, but if they do raise interest rates, that is something the market is already pricing in my opinion, because many people are seeing those percentages on poly market, because that's also the market sentiment, right? And if you think about it in general, so if there is a raise, I think the market is trying to price in the worst case outcome also at these current prices that we are seeing.
This is on predicts, but this is for the entire year. So if they're going to raise in the year, got to make that delineation here. That's sitting around yes at 44%. So one thing that's cool, and Predicts is obviously a sponsor of the show, friends of the pod. But I did notice, I tweeted this out the other day, because when LeBron went to Philadelphia, there was a lot of volume coming in, and there was, if you didn't think that they'll win the East, Predicts had much better odds for you than Kalshi. So that's another, you can arbitrage a little bit between Predicts, between Kalshi and Polymarket as well. So, I will spin one up. So follow our Twitter at Daily Stack HQ, and I will spin up for tomorrow's what people are thinking about as well. Earnings too, I want to touch on with you, get your take on what you're thinking for. We saw what happened with Google. Do you think that's the canary in the coal mine there of kind of telling us what to expect for these other Mag 7?
I think Google had its turn. Google had its run for 2026, 2025, 2026.
It's recovered pretty nice too. I think it's back of that loss.
Exactly. So I mean, all these big tech at this current moment, like I understand many people who are invested in big tech, like especially me. I like big tech, right? Like I don't invest in small caps or mid caps or anything like that, right? So your portfolios are underperforming, yes, because all the mags are underperforming, except for Apple. Nothing is really making new all-time highs at the moment. But the thing is, all these big tech are in the wait mode. I think especially Meta, Google, Amazon. I really like Amazon. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but I think they're in like a wait mode where they're like building out this infrastructure. They're building out everything that they need for consumption for the next 5, 10, 15 years. And then once that one-time investment comes in, what happens to CapEx, right? What happens to growth? What happens to revenue? What happens to all these other things that these guys are betting on for the future? they are obviously going to explode, and that is where I think Google, we saw the 5 trillion, Apple, we saw the 5 trillion, we saw NVIDIA at 5 trillion. I think Amazon, Meta, all these are going to explode even higher to those 5 trillion market caps. And most of these other tech that have already been already saw that market cap will probably flag until the rest of the big Mag 7s catch up. But overall, I think what Oracle is doing, what Meta is doing, what NVIDIA is doing, all of Tesla is doing, SpaceX is doing, all of this is capital expenditure. Yes, you are going to see some kind of lagging, some kind of sideways movement. You won't see as much growth as you would see with AI bottleneck names or infrastructure built out names, but you will definitely see returns on them in the next 5 years. So what happens this week with earnings? I'm not really concerned with all of that noise when I'm thinking about long-term investing. But when it comes to short-term investing, if these big names are still spending, are still willing to spend more and more and more, that means AI bottleneck names, infrastructure names, like anything that creates the build out to happen for these big tech for their future will keep exploding higher.
Mm-hmm. You picked 4 names today. Let's start with Lilly, because that's the stock that I wish I bought in the 800s. It did what I thought, and I think it has a long way to go. I own 0 shares, so I do want to change that rapidly, because I think Retta, and I'll let you pull up your chart here in just a second, but where is it? Yeah, look at this. This is crazy. So I think it's 1 in 5 or 1 in 3. It's like a big percentage of the population, at least in the US, has fatty liver. And the results of retatrutide, I'll just call it Retta because I can't pronounce the whole name, 86% liver fat reduction, 72% pre-diabetes reversal. Like, every doctor is going to be prescribing this, and the longevity, like, this is the first drug that not only makes you like lose weight. I know some of the other ones have helped too, but like blood pressure dropping off, 41 completely off blood pressure medicine. So it feels like a miracle drug. I know that there's been some cases where people are getting some stomach issues, which I think happens with some of the other GLP ones. But this feels like one of those drugs that it makes the original GLP ones look like nothing, because it just helps downstream with so many other factors. I'm excited about it. I used to have fatty liver. I do not anymore, which is great. But I probably will again at some point. I don't want to take this drug. So wanted to pull up that tweet real quick, and then I'll pull up what matters.
Yeah. So something about Retta, like 90% of my family are doctors, and I have been hearing about Retta. Q1 2027, they're getting the FDA approval, and all of them are very pro Retta. Right, like they are saying, like my cousin, who's very close to me, is a gastroenterologist too. So me and him were talking about it yesterday, and he thinks Q1 2027 is when they're going to get their FDA approval, and he's definitely going to. He definitely said there's a huge population that's going to use it, not just for fatty liver, for multiple other peptide, cases also. Where this is this is definitely the miracle drug, and he's super interested in it, and he is invested in LLY from way back, and he was just asking me about the chart and what I think about it. I think LLY, in my opinion, is a $1,600 to an $1,800 stock. Any drop off to 1,000, I would just load the boat on it. This was also the trade idea for last week as well. Look at the clean compression that it had, and then broke out, and now it's sitting at like 1,200 plus. Once that 1,240 kind of breaks, we are looking at 1,500 open up for the bulls very soon into Q3 or early Q4. So LLY is a definite long-term hold. I love the company. I definitely would recommend anybody to if anybody asks me if there's a company out there that you really trust, I think LLY is one of them. And the big I think this was somewhere trading at around $600 or something. I think I tweeted about it saying LLY will be the first trillion-dollar pharma company as well.
You did.
And it
I
happened.
remember you saying that, actually.
Yeah.
Jody, I know you're listening to this because Jody's been an LLY for quite some time.
Yep.
It's just one of those. It's a beach stock, I think. It's like pharma and bio, those are typically, they just go up and down like crazy. I know Pfizer
Yeah.
and Moderna, obviously with the COVID vaccines went like this, and then they were getting sued and all this shit that was happening. But Eli Lilly kind of stayed out of most of that. There
Yep.
he is.
They're a very clean company in that aspect.
Jody, 15 years in LLY.
15 years in LLY.
The old school investor, Home Depot,
Yep.
LLY. He says no one could have seen the GLP-1 type impact, though. I think Retta, obviously some of this is probably priced in here, but I don't think, like looking at those stats, I was just trying to pull up too. All right, here, I got the stats on all those things. So 25 to 35% of adults, around 30%, it looks like, elevated fatty liver. 2 in 5 adults have prediabetes, so about 40%. Hypertension, almost 50% of the U.S. population. 24% are taking blood pressure medicine. That's like the TAM on this is insane. So if results are true, which I think they are, right? It's a massive company. They can't mess around with that. I think it's going to be bigger than people expect. And this is going to be a company that I need to find where. So for me and everyone else listening that doesn't have shares, you still thinking now's a good time, or would you wait for another drop here?
Let me see the weekly chart. So on the weekly time frame, I would probably load it up back again at around 1100 to 1075. That's the range that you would want to add it up in.
Yeah, this feels like for me. I would not necessarily even do a trade. It just feels like a strong company that's got a lot in the pipeline coming up. So that's exciting. Another name we talked about, or we haven't, I don't think, ever spoken about, is GE coming out of the grave. Like, who's the WWE wrestler I'm thinking of right now? GE 2026 results, I'm looking at up 21%, 13.3 gap, and I won't read. I'll let you talk about this one. What do you like?
I think some of these old school names, the boomer stocks, are coming back online last week and this week. And we saw that clean falling wedge last week, and it's kind of breaking out now. We are also seeing that 9 and 20 cross over. The 9 is crossing over the 20 again, creating that momentum. That 380 is the target for the short term. And once that 380 breaks, 400 kind of opens up for GE. Overall, I think I think if you're looking for some kind of boomer stock trade, GE has a very nice clean setup of that falling wedge and breaking out. So that's something that I'm looking out for. Just wanted to give a heads up as if someone is not looking at these stocks. GE, I'm looking at GM. That's another one that's kind of breaking out as well. That stock
Coca-Cola did well today, at least in the morning session. I didn't see.
Like all these like boomer stocks are really hitting off. Like then you have JPM. That's another one that's really breaking out as well. You have Bank of America. That's another stock that's looking pretty solid at its all-time highs. Probably 66, 70 is something that you can look out for. Like, there's so many stocks like these, like IBM after that huge drop is showing that relative strength again after their.
Do you think this is an AI money, like shifting back to kind of safety stocks and companies that are making money and, have dividends?
I think so. I mean, these are companies that I wouldn't say they are making money per se. I think they're just safe trades, right? Like if you look at Apple also is one of those stocks where once you see the war news or anything that comes up with respect to tariffs or anything at all, everybody just hoards Apple for some reason. We have seen this in 2024 also, right? Like when Trump was posting about tariffs, yes, we did have a dip on Apple because of China exposure, but then Apple was the one that keeps ravaging on any market weakness. So I think it's like a safe haven kind of situation where you see Apple, GE, GM, all these companies that are being backed by the like that are technically not overexposed with respect to leverages and holding a lot of cash or have a lot of cash in hand are something that are going up, or some there's this little bag of stocks that are really doing well in the market.
Yeah. Well, I just pulled up the Pelosi tracker, and the three names we talked about are sitting on top of each other, funny enough, all promoted by Trump on Truth Social.
Exactly.
Those are the trades to take a look at, and President Trump is there. Tesla, real quick, before we go to the other two, just because it's sitting on top of that. Where do you see Tesla going? Because it's been getting wrecked.
Right now, Avi, like the way I look at Tesla, I feel Elon is playing 3D chess.
I think he wants to buy it cheaper. I don't know how that works. Like,
I think so. Like there's something that's wrong. Like there's something that's fishy, or something that's something that we don't know. There is a long game that he's playing, and I just don't know what it is. I mean, the end game, I definitely feel, is a SpaceX Tesla merger, because you see all these modules coming into Tesla being used by SpaceX being used by SpaceX things used by Tesla. Like, I'll give you a very simple example, right? Like he said, all Tesla Model 3, Model Ys will start to use Starlink, and these cars can also use as hoppers or something like that. He said they will also be used as transponders or something around that. So
Starlink,
Tesla robotaxi,
right? Like,
yeah, like Tesla robotaxi connectivity will depend on Starlink, right? So all of SpaceX, all of the major part of what SpaceX is working on right now, or the revenue generator of SpaceX, is going to Tesla. The main consumer is Tesla right now.
Yeah.
And then he's also using Grok inside Tesla now. Like I've been watching my friend do this quite a bit, where he's like, hey Grok, I want to overtake this car right in front of me. Also tell me what the name of this car is, and can you like talk shit about that car? And
crazy.
It does it. It
Next
does it.
Like, a
megaphone
coming out the front, so you could actually
like it literally like it can eat my dust, whatever shit it is, like it says all of that too, like in a
That's
very
amazing. Like, can I beat this car off the start?
I'm not even kidding. Like, it's super fun.
We were driving to a bachelor party, and he's like, watch this, because he sells like land and leases land, and he's like, I actually have a back and forth with Grok. He's like, Grok, pretend you're the person that I'm about to call, come up with all of the like objections they'll have. So it was pretty funny. Like, he had a full back and forth conversation, like a sales training call, while the Tesla's driving it. And you realize this thing's not a car. It's a computer on wheels. It's exciting. The stock chart is not exciting for me though, recently, as a long-term holder. Do you think, like, how long is this 3D chess going to go on for? Because I've heard rumors. I think Jonah Lupton had this tweet. He got kind of beat up on it about, but he was saying that Elon's doing this on purpose to buy it for cheaper.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That's where I come up with this 3D chess, where I think SpaceX is going all the way up till 85. I think Tesla can go all the way up to like 230, 250-ish, and then he'll just do a merger. Because he's also talking about, like, let's say Optimus comes out, and he wants to do this before Optimus comes out, because that is going to be a huge revenue stream for Tesla next. Yeah. And if for him to say we are going to stop the production lines on S and X, and we are going to repurpose them for Optimus, that's a huge risk. Or without the market analysis on Optimus, he wouldn't really do that. So anyway, he has to do this before Optimus comes online. So in my opinion, because like once people get the optimism of Optimus coming out, there's no stopping Tesla stock. So he needs this, like, something kind of like all this bullish sense in Tesla and SpaceX to fade away. Nobody's looking at it, and then he says, okay, here's the merger. Because like he has talked about Optimus also being used in SpaceX rockets. So there's a lot of cross collaboration that's going on between SpaceX and Tesla, and I don't think there is any reason why Elon will not merge both of them.
I'm just not going to bet against Elon. I'm not touching my Tesla. If I'm wrong, then we got other issues happening. But it has not been fun the past couple days. What else do we want to touch on? IWM and let's go to Amazon because you were talking about Amazon earlier. So
so Amazon is one tech stock. I'm sorry.
They report this week.
Yeah, they report on Thursday.
Thursday, that's right. Okay, with Reddit too.
Yeah. So this stock has been choppy for years now. And they did not have the AI run per se, in my opinion. And they are one of those companies that are on the forefront of this AI race. And they have the capability, I believe, to be the next $5 trillion company as well. Especially with robotics, especially with what they can do with their logistics and also their cloud. Obviously, they have their chip division also working on a new chip, just like how Google is. But I don't know if they are going to sell their chips like how Google is going to sell them, at least what Google has said. We don't know yet, but this stock is something that I'm definitely looking out for. One of the, in the short term basis also, I see a lot of bullish flow on Amazon. This week, Meta, Microsoft, and Amazon, if I'm looking at all the three options flow, Amazon has the most bullish flow, short term, long term basis. The second goes to Microsoft and third goes to Meta. But definitely a stock to look out for in the next 3 to 4 years as we enter the robotics revolution, is how I want to see it.
They some quick numbers I pulled up. 2026 Q1, 28% year over year on AWS. Operating margins on that 37.7. Consensus expects a strong Q2. Big backlog, 364 billion. I mean, this is different territory here. The custom chips you talked about with Trinium, Graviton, et cetera. And then their advertising business too went up 24%, which is big. And going back to Chris Camillo, which I've probably mentioned 1,000 times, he was saying this is going to be the downstream. So if the trade with AI, I don't think it's over yet, but if it does start to shift now, you will see these companies that have all these big investments start to actually have that payoff. Because I think that's been the biggest thing. We've talked about this on a few podcasts where it's these corporations haven't seen the huge uplift that with, I guess in line with the investments thus far, but it takes a while to come into fruition. It's a very big shift for people too. You can't just like take a mammoth like Amazon and expect everyone to learn it and, integrate it into their workflows, right out the gates. And so I think we'll eventually see that. And Amazon is, full transparency, my number one position. So I like hearing that bullish sentiment out of your mouth here. It's nice. Real quick, just because they do Reddit same day as Reddit earnings, would love to see what you're seeing here on the charts.
Yeah, Reddit. I think this drawdown was after they announced their end of partnership with Google right before Google's earnings, and after that they dropped and popped a little bit. I remember you texted me about Reddit as well. Like I was talking to you about this trend line here at around 160, 164, 165.
It lost like $6 billion in market cap though over a $60 million contract, which I thought was insane.
Exactly.
It made no sense in my opinion. So I'm still very bullish on Reddit. I think they'll resolve that. I was talking with Joey about this too. Joey Salicho, who joins on the Monday show. And he was saying like, they're not going to Google, because I was like, could Google be in the driver's seat here basically and say, all right, fuck you, Reddit. We're just going to like throttle you down and your results won't pop up. And he's like, over $60 million, they're not going to mess up. They want to deliver the best search to, the users. And so I agreed with him. He won that debate. And I think, if you look at the lows, they keep climbing higher now. And I think hopefully this is the time where Reddit does their breakout, and they're not going to be a Mag 7 stock, but it's always been kind of the like Snapchat's kind of trash, but Reddit is, I think, going to be, I don't know if it will ever get to Meta status, but I like it long term. And they also are renewing their contracts for AI. They also have the Anthropic before Anthropic goes public. We just saw Anthropic. I think it was a $1.2 billion settlement with all the authors, which was nothing, to be honest, because it was like, I think it ended up being $3,000 per book for the authors. But that will be another settlement, I predict, and several others. I'm not alone here. That before Anthropic goes public, they'll want to have a settlement. They're not going to have some pending lawsuit on their books, in my opinion. So
okay, yeah, I mean,
where do you see starts here?
And so one of the things that I really like about Reddit is their efficiency on their work culture too. Like you see all these Mag 7s and like Microsoft, Meta, Google, all of them. They're spending like a shit ton of money on doing AI. Like the spend on Reddit is very minimal. That's one, and I think they are only online platform which can be they have a very very well human curated data in their social media. Like when you look at Twitter, when you look at Meta, there's so much AI content that's already flooding in, but Reddit does not have that per se. So I don't know. Like I think Reddit is one of those stocks which can go up quite a bit, but at the same time, it's never going to be at a scale of Meta, in my opinion.
No, I agree. Reddit, they actually reached out to our company to do some like advertising. And so I was like curious as an investor. I was like, yeah, I'll take the call and like look through their deck. And I was impressed with some of the numbers and like the retention, because they had like, it wasn't on this podcast. It was a different one we were talking about. That there's literally a subreddit for anything you can think about for the most part. So as people go into these obscures, like I was more PG with mine, and I said like furries, but there was literally one about like robots having sex with like horse. It was something completely crazy, and there was like a subreddit for it. My friend brought up as one of the things. So where was the stat that I wanted to see? So yeah, Q1 2026 revenue grew 69% year on year. Advertising revenue up 74%. So I'm liking this stock. I'm decent. I think it's like number 4 or 5 on my portfolio, but one that I do like long term here as well. Okay. IWM, we can wrap it up. If people are listening to that want to throw a few tickers in the comments, I will keep an eye on that. Otherwise, we can wrap. But
yeah, so IWM, look at this chart. Nice consolidation sideways, almost like a falling wedge here. I'm looking at this upper trend line to break. I'm not advising anybody to like front run it, because one of the biggest reasons why I'm not asking people to do that, because we have not seen a follow through on any breakouts. We have not seen any follow throughs on any breakdowns. So you need a confirmation on the daily. But this is a very nice, clean setup. The number of times it has touched that trend line, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times now. And the next time it touches, I do think it'll break above that 296. It's absolutely ravaging towards that 298 to 300 this week. So can it happen tomorrow after wash? Probably yes. And I'm definitely looking out for this stock to play it to the upside. So 300 is the price target for this week. I'll be posting out a video on Instagram as well, so people can follow it there. But
what's your Instagram for the listeners that do not?
It's the same thing. Problem Sniper
across the board.
Yeah,
love it. We do have Capital Harbor asking about MU. So one of the biggest winners of this year thus far has been taking a hit. I'm bullish long term on this thing, but we'll see. I mean, the other thing pending here is that Google news that had that first drop with it. If that's true over the next couple of years, like maybe that can make a dent here with Micron, but they feel like the leader in memory. And in my opinion, we're just getting started still with AI. So
I think SK Hynix also has earnings today after market close. So that's one possibility of a bigger pop in MU. Right now, 890 to 900 is the resistance level on the short-term basis. One thing that I don't like about MU right now is it's definitely like, has a very thin structure and ran very fast to the upside.
Yeah.
So a little bit of consolidation here at the 20 EMA on the weekly isn't bad for MU. So as long as you don't see this 9 EMA recaptured on the weekly, you won't see the momentum to the upside. But at the same time, you would want to see some basing pattern here. If you see the 20 EMA like not holding on MU, there's a very high chance we'll see like 500 to 470 again on MU. So you have to keep an eye out for this 780 to 800 zone on MU. That is what you want to look out for. Again, I know a lot of people will ask me about SNDKs, but I want to talk about, I will tell you that SNDK is not something that I'm looking out for as a long-term hold or a good investment as well. It broke down and it has never recovered those trend lines, and it has been absolute stupid to think about this will bounce back. Probably to 1288 to 1290 1300. That's where I would think about it. But then this thing has 950 to 720 kind of range to drop down to. It clearly dropped down. Like even if you look at the weekly time frame, um, it lost the 20 EMA. It's just not the type of investment I want to be in with respect to MU. So with respect to SNDK. But MU, on the other hand, like you said, it's a leader. The leader always looks better on the chart. Also, it's definitely holding the 20 MA on the weekly. Once you break that, that's your stop loss. But otherwise, I would want this stock to base a little bit going into 2027, and then we see all-time highs again to breaking towards like 1500 to 1800 range as well on MU.
To wrap it up, my baby, Nebius, which unfortunately you've been corrected on. You said to watch it go down to, I think you said like 155.
Yeah.
Is that still what you're seeing here on this, or?
Yeah, I mean, this 155
go down to like 125.
No, I don't think it'll go down all the way there, but I think it can go like, probably to like 155, 154 to 135. That's the range that I'm looking at. I think if we have more selling tomorrow, day after, probably 155 to 140, 155 to 150. That's the range that I'm looking at. But I don't think it'll go that low. But right now, the chart looks bizarre, though.
Yeah. Was fun on the run up, not so fun on the run down here. They have earnings August 6th, and I hope they absolutely just demolish it. Anthropic comes in, someone else comes in. I decided to that was one that I traded horribly. I think I had a ton of shares where it became too inflated. Like you've had stocks like that too, where it's like, holy shit, this is like cranking into my top 3, top 2. And I'm like, all right, maybe this is more of a trade right now. But I did, what was the numbers? I think I sold at like 188, then rebought in when it popped back up here. And then I decided, all right, I'm done selling, done buying for a little bit. But if it does hit 150, like you're saying, 155, I'd probably add to that.
Average down a little bit. It's a good stock. It's not something like, this is one of all these neo clouds, the same thing. It's the scare of leverage. And then, and then there's some macro stupid news that comes out, which basically kills out all the momentum for a few months. And then after that, again, everybody's on the hype and it starts running again.
Yeah. I mean, they have a bunch of subsidiaries too. That's like, a nice little cushion, diversifies it a little bit as well. And then, I just think that I think they'll go back up. I mean, it feels like a very well-run company, smart guys. We'll see on this earnings report. I think that will be very telling to see if they get more upfront money. I think one thing that's misunderstood with them is the contracts that they have with Meta and with Microsoft. It's like a team option from their perspective. They're the ones that can decide if they go through with it all, or they could take higher price from someone else. So it's a really good contract. Whoever wrote that for Nebius is a genius, because the only way they can get out, which I did dig in because Joey was grilling me on this, is if they can't build fast enough. But they have the plant here in New Jersey. They just signed another contract, I think, or a partnership with Bloom Energy and someone else too. So I'm liking this still long term, but I've been wrong before. So this is why we bring the pros on, like yourself. Anything else you want to touch on here, or we can wrap as well?
I think we can wrap for now, and we'll see what SK Hynix and FOMC, PCE, big tech earnings. We have to look at the market in the next few weeks.
I gotta give a shout out quick to Yerba Mate. I'm flying right now. I never drink it. It's got I guess 2 cups of coffee in it. I didn't realize. So I'm ready to go. But I have not eaten lunch yet, so we can wrap. And happy trading week to everyone. Hopefully we can come up off this little downfall in tech, and we'll make it happen. So see you next Tuesday. And moving forward, we have some good AI stuff here tomorrow. And I think we're going to be switching the day of AI, so stay tuned on that. But everyone, we will be back at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to follow at Problem Sniper on X as well as Instagram now. I don't think I follow you yet, so I will add that. And then follow us as well if you appreciate it. It's Daily Stack HQ on X. And then I think it's the YouTube's like @_. I'll have to figure that out. I should know that. Anyways, everyone have a great trading week.
Cause we pop 'em like over red and vodka. C3, okay, a millionaire.